Hello and welcome back to the Full 40 with none other than Tommy, Willie, and Brian. How are we doing, Brian? How are we doing, Tommy?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
won. Yeah, Big East. Just a rock fight, old school Cintas Center Xavier battle.
There we go. There we go,
I
Brian.
knew all the guys on Xavier for the game.
Big Xavier guy. Yeah, so we're coming to you live following
I
our
knew all the players.
we're coming to you live following the 92-89 win versus Xavier. A game that like I don't know, like I'll give you like my like rapid reaction after the game. Like we were talking about this pregame, and maybe this is bad for me to say as a fan, but it was one of those games I was watching, and I was like, I don't really care if we lose, because I just think like for this team, who we are, I was like, all right, I know who this team is, and this would be a bad loss. I'm not taking that away. It definitely would have been a bad loss, but I was just like, this is a flawed team. But my overall takeaway after everything through this entire game is just like this team consistently has shown, despite their inability to close out at the free throw line, they will close out games on the floor, both defensively and offensively. And that's my takeaway from this. Once again, the only execution that we didn't do down the stretch was on the free throw line. Everything else we executed pretty well. I mean, Brennan missed like a bunny that would have prevented us from even getting to overtime. But beyond that, like everything was great. Lewis is one hell of a closer for us. So I just like I take away from that, and I'm just like, yeah, like it was sloppy, and we probably should have won by more. But ultimately, I was just like, what I saw from this team is the thing that I'm going to take away. I'm going to take away from this. Sorry, I'm just reading our text message in the group chat. What you said about Bilotti. There we go. But I'm going to take away is that we've been able to close the door really, really well. And that's just like, I think when I look at this season, and we'll see how March goes, that's what I'm going to remember this team for, is their ability to win games down the stretch despite their youth, and specifically Caden Lewis and Tyler Perkins.
Yeah. Caden Lewis, off the top, I want to give him his flowers tonight. He did everything well. Some of the passes that he had, his most special pass in the game, I think it didn't even get finished. It was a Braden Pierce. He kind of floated it over two people right onto Pierce's fingers, and Pierce got bumped or whatever. Pierce had a very good game, probably his best game as a Wildcat.
Yeah.
I want to put that out there.
He's moving better.
He is moving. Yeah, it was good to see him finish some dunks, attack the glass. That was good to see from Pierce. Tyler Perkins just makes big time plays and big time moments. It's just what he does. The factor. Yeah. He's everything that we talk about. It's cool to see somebody do it over and over again when you expect him to. But about this game, especially tonight, I want to give Xavier some credit.
I don't.
You don't want to give Xavier any credit?
Go ahead. I'll get to my thing with them.
So I was talking to my buddy about this during the game, but I think Xavier ran some pretty intricate sets. They had a lot of guys just slipping wide open. Villanova's defense was poor tonight. It was below average, but I do think a lot of that has to do with Xavier's game plan. 18 points off the bench, 32 in the paint for Xavier tonight. They got out in transition. They had 13 fast break points. And the combination of them finding open shots and hitting shots like Trey Carroll was hitting at the end of the game, why it took them 4 minutes and 15 seconds and a 5-minute overtime to get Trey Carroll the ball, I have no idea.
That's what I want to yell at them for. That's what they should have won that game, but all of overtime and down the stretch of the rest of the game, or down the stretch of the second half, they were avoiding Trey Carroll. That shot, I was like, if they don't give this ball to Trey Carroll for the last shot of the game, we're gonna win. And it was Anderson, and I was like, all right, we're fine. Like it was just that. It was just that they were avoiding Trey Carroll for whatever reason. I think the team hates him. That's where that's my take.
Yeah. Down the stretch, like with 2 seconds left in the game, I would have been worried if Trey Carroll took that three from half court.
Yeah.
Like there's just nothing that he put up at the end of the game that I thought that he was going to miss. Now, he did have 2 bad turnovers with under 90 seconds left, both in regulation and in overtime.
Yep.
which was tough. But man, he's a tough shot taker and a tough shot maker. So shout out to Xavier tonight. They brought it on their home court. A team that really needed that win, but shout out to Villanova getting that done as well. Getting Moxie down the stretch yet again.
Yeah, I mean, down the stretch, we just executed. Going back to the Xavier point, like there's the Trey Carroll stuff. I like what you called out with Xavier's defense. What they did a lot of, and I mean, it's something that most teams have tried to do to varying levels of success, but Xavier, and shout out to Patino for it, because like it was a very, very good job, a very good job of opening up space for back cuts. And what he did a lot of the time, like, was essentially running actions that got Brennan on ball, but then had back screens to get our smaller guards caught up in them. And so there was a lot of dives to the basket that they had where it was either Lindsay or Askew or someone trying to like snake through multiple screens, and then there was a dive and led to a miscommunication. There was a lot of Xavier getting open runway to the hoop, obviously like on Brennan's foul, but that was in transition. But regardless of that, like it's like they did a very, very good job of creating like space for back screens to get open shots at the rim. And that was just like I thought that was a really, really well done like job from them offensively to kind of put us in a position. Because once again, if I'm a team that's playing us, the way I'm attacking us is I'm putting Duke Brennan in every action. That's just what I'm doing. One, because like he actually played pretty decent defense down the stretch, like on a on ball, but like I'm gonna take my chances with that every single time. And then also you get him off the glass, and that just creates like more opportunity for you. Overall, like once again, I just think my takeaway from this team is how well they execute down the stretch. Yes, they can't make free throws. That's not I will not argue against that. But every other aspect of execution down the stretch has been fantastic. I think, and it's a bit of a self kind of fulfilling prophecy, but outside of UConn, I don't think there's been a game that we haven't executed well down the stretch. And UConn was just kind of like, okay, cool, you didn't do it versus, at worst case, the number 6 overall seed, a 2 seed. Like that's probably the worst case scenario for them. Like, okay, you didn't do that on the road versus UConn. Every other game that we've executed, where it's come down the stretch, we've executed well. I guess you could talk about BYU, but that was opening night. I'm gonna like give a pass for that. Every other game we've been fine. And it's just been like it's evolved from like, all right, kind of just like good execution, maybe like finagling some wins, to like a Caden Lewis and Tyler Perkins, like truly just like, if you had told me at the beginning of the year that it was a Caden Lewis who was leading the team, I wouldn't have any shock about it. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool, it worked out for him. He figured it out. Biggie's play. He was highly touted coming in. That makes sense. Lewis and Perkins being the two that lead us has been like, it's just been such a breath of fresh air for me enjoying this team. I go back to I just go back to like Lewis's ability down the stretch to like be the guy. And that's the thing I've seen with a lot of freshmen, and I'm going to take a step back from a macro level. A lot of freshmen this year nationally who believe that they're the guy and are being the guy. You can start with Cam Boozer, you can start with Debansta, you can start with Darren Peterson, like all those names. But then you can also get into other guards like Kingston Flemings, who at Houston, who has kind of done the same thing I've seen Lewis do of like, no, I don't care that there's like veterans here. I'm the best player on the floor. I'm going to be the one to take to lead us to victory. Keaton Wagler over at Illinois, same thing. Like Keaton was like a 3-star recruit, overlooked, and eventually it's just kind of gotten to this level where it's just like it doesn't matter. Lewis is in that realm, so we don't talk about him at that national level because he isn't the slam dunk. Like, all right, we know he's a one and done player, and he probably shouldn't be. He has to work on a shot. He has to free throw. There's some things that he can like refine, but he's that level of freshman. He's that level of player. He is Big East freshman of the year. There shouldn't be any question about it. And I can just like wax poetic like about his ability to lead us down the stretch, that like I feel confident with him having the ball. I'm just like, I know he's going to get to the rim. I don't know that he's always going to make it, but I know he's getting to the rim, and there's a paint touch. And then you have Brennan and Perkins who are going to be able to like get a lot of rebounds there. So overall, I just take a look back at this game, and it's just a microcosm of how I feel for this team for the season. Of despite their imperfections, despite the fact that maybe our best case is a Sweet 16. Like that's probably best case, and I don't even think that's likely. I just really, really love how I've seen this team execute down the stretch, besides their inability to make a free throw.
Yeah, 100%. The last 2 minutes of both halves have, over the last couple games, been the strongest points of the game for the Wildcats. What I really like about what they're doing to execute down the stretch is Kevin Willard's timeout usage. They talked about it a little bit on the broadcast tonight. Both teams had really good timeout usage, which I thought was a funny comment, but I thought about it. And you know, coming out of both timeouts, really relayed the message to their guys. We were talking about it in our group chat a little bit, but the sideline out of bounds plays and the baseline out of bounds plays this year have been outstanding. And going back to your point, Willie, the fact that they drew it up for the freshman, Caden Lewis, 18 years old, the last play of the game, he flew down the court. The ball was in his hands. I think that speaks so highly of him early on in his career. We're really lucky that he's not like 10, 15 pounds more muscular and has a jump shot, because he would not be back here next year if that was the case.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, and another freshman, believe it or not, he didn't score, didn't take a shot tonight. He had 4 assists and a steal. He led the team in plus minus. One guy I wanted to talk about who probably won't get talked about a ton. He was a plus 10 in 8 minutes tonight, was Chris Jeffrey.
Yep.
He just impacts the game in a lot of different ways. And we're going to talk about a lot of different guys tonight. But while we're on this youth movement on the podcast, I do want to shout out Chris Jeffrey, who Matt Hodge too, down the stretch. Just those two just made a lot of winning play. That rebound by Matt Hodge at the end of the game where he went up and grabbed it, missed the free throw, which was unfortunate.
Once again, winning play, missed free throw. Like that's
it's that sequence by Hodge there, and then the Trey Carroll goes down the court and hits a 3 with a hand in his mitt on the other end, and it's a microcosm of the season.
Yeah.
So far for Villanova, but yeah, I mean, it's just guys making winning plays down the stretch. Villanova's not that deep anymore, and to see guys contributing like that off the bench, even when they don't score, I do want to highlight that a little bit.
Yeah, like talking about Jeffrey, they had the inside the huddle, and Willard just basically called out us like lack of energy defensively and all that different stuff. And kind of like that was how it started in the beginning of the game when we were down like 14-8. I think there was an 11-0 run by Xavier to begin. I think it was 11-2 at a point. And Jeffrey got inserted. That's who Willard went to, and he only played 8 minutes, like you said, but he came in and like that was part of the switch. Was he came in, he connected, he's tough defensively. What I was actually going to talk about with him, and then also I think with him mainly, looking at minutes, was like, how do you get him from 8 to like 13 or 14 minutes in a game? Because I think he's capable of it, where like 8 we might be underselling what he can do for us. And how do you just steal, like, all right, let's start with stealing another 2 minutes to get him to 10 to 12, just see what that looks like, because he deserves to be on the floor more. Despite not scoring, his impact is like pretty much always felt once he's on the floor. Right. And I've loved what I've seen from Jeffrey, and I'm excited for him to grow with us, hopefully.
Yeah. And tonight was like, we talked about Devin Askew a lot in the preseason. Tonight is exactly the kind of game I thought we were going to get from Devin Askew every night. When he came from Villanova, and he's been, to his credit, much better than.
Joking when I asked, did he play in the second half?
He did a little bit.
I didn't notice him out there in the second half.
He did a little bit, but it wasn't.
5 minutes in the second half, Brian. Yeah, he went 0 for 2. He had
I didn't
10
notice
minutes
until I thought about it. Which
he had 10 minutes in the first half, and he had that stretch in like 2 minutes where he hit 3 threes, and it was like, here goes one of those Devin Askew games again. But it wasn't to be. Bryce Lindsey, 12 minutes in the second half, was the second lowest. And well, I mean, we have Chris Jeffrey and Brayden Pierce, but of the guys who are really making impacts there, Askew only 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I mean, yeah, it wasn't like a. I think it was like it was. I think you're right. It was just like kind of like a microcosm of an Askew game. It was the good, the bad, and then just like nothing there. But I actually like. I think this team is now. I don't want to say hit their stride because like yeah, you win 6 in a row, but like I think we just know what our formula is for winning.
Yeah.
We're going to like the ball goes in Lewis's hands. We're going to spray threes. Brendan's going to muck it up, get offensive rebounds, get easy buckets. I don't know. Like I've seen a couple of people be like on Twitter and things like that, essentially say like, "Oh, we're not pulling ahead and we're not like obliterating teams." I don't think that's what this team is. They're too flawed overall to be a team that just like cuts the neck off of a team early in the second half or even in the first half. That's just not what we're going to get. Like probably ever. But you're going to have a team that closes out games pretty strong. That like is going to defend. Like I like did not mind. Like I know we got kind of blown up, and like statistically, this won't be a good defensive team or defensive game for us. But I'm just gonna keep harping on it. In the moments that mattered, it showed up, and I go back to second half down the stretch. What'd you say? Okay,
yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. My computer froze up. I think like down the stretch, there was a moment where I'm trying to remember exactly the sequence, but it was Carroll had the ball. It's one of the turnovers from Carroll, actually. Carroll had the ball. There was Perkins came and Carroll was essentially backing down in the post, left-handed dribble on the left side of the hoop. And Perkins came and dove really, really hard. Carroll avoided it, swung it out, and then just went back up to the key to, I don't know, maybe it was Anderson, went back in. They got the ball back into Carroll in the post again. Same thing. He does a power dribble left hand. Perkins does the same exact thing. Carroll does the same thing, but instead of getting it up to the guy at the arc, I think we had Hodge come over and get a steal. And it was just like 2 plays of the exact same sequence where the team made an effort, missed it, but it was still a good defensive play, and then went back to the same exact thing, knowing what Xavier would do, and got like a very, very easy steal. And I look at those moments for this being a relatively young team that I'm just like, this is, I just love our execution down the stretch. I'm going to keep saying that, and I'm going to keep holding on to that because that's just my takeaway from this game. I take nothing negative away from this game. There's nothing negative new that I learned new about this team. What this game did is confirm for me down the stretch. I love our execution, and I'm just going to keep that's my thesis.
That's your overarching point of the night.
Yeah.
And it is the overarching point of the night. It's something that we haven't been able to do over the past couple of years.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, like I'm gonna start. Sorry, Tom. I'm gonna do this. Like I thought about this. Like
take the stage.
It just how many like the difference between this team and the teams of the last 3 years is like we lose this Xavier game. Like think about how many of these games that we lose over the last 3 years that we're not seeing anymore. Xavier, we lose. I mean, I could go like name all of them. Xavier, Marquette,
Georgetown,
Marquette, probably the first Providence game. DePaul, the DePaul at home one we lose. Like these are all games that like, let's say even if they go to 50-50, we lose another 3. All of a sudden we're sitting here and like we're 18-8, and it's a little bit different because we don't have the strong wins and we're like hoping we can get into the Jeffrey Steckman had said in the comments, this team is well coached, and that's just what it is. It's really good coaching.
Yeah, 100%. You took the point there, and you said it better than I could. I was just gonna hit on this year, like these little things, the little things that they do add up, and it's things that we haven't seen in the past. I mean, of course, we've seen that this is Villanova basketball stuff, the diving on the floor for the ball, but just going back to the Hodge rebound, like I don't know, like Tyler Perkins wasn't like posting up and converting in the low post this time last year. He wasn't
doing it 7 games ago.
That's true. I mean, like these 50-50 balls, like we bounce them off the I'm sorry, we do that drill where we tap it off the backboard and it's a loose ball. We just haven't been balls that we've been getting in the past. And yeah, you shouted it out. Jeffrey Steckman said it, but it is 100% coaching. It's the little things that they do. Free throw shooting, of course, we see that in the comments as well. It is it's as bad as it's been in as long as I can remember, in an extremely long time. But we know that we didn't learn that tonight. We knew that they were a bad free throw shooting team. And they're probably not going to get any better. I mean, they are who they are at this point in the season, and we're just going to have to deal with that when we run into, a Houston in the round of 32 if we make it out of the first round. But
yeah,
I'm not sure free throws are going to matter in a game like that. But 296th in the country in free throw percentage. And it hurts us down the stretch, but it hasn't killed us yet. I'm going to knock on wood, but yeah, man, it's just so nice to see a team executing at a high level back on the main line.
You just made me think, what are we in luck rating? 80. All right. So not even that like lucky according to Ken Palm, but just like the fact that we haven't been burned by free throws had me thinking about that. But yeah, 80th in luck rating, which like, all right, like it's on the higher end, but still not overall. I come back to this thing of, I said this maybe 2 episodes ago, maybe last episode, what as a like, or maybe I said this to you like one-on-one time, I can't remember, but like, what is our goal as like a fan base? Like, what do we want this team to be? What do we think this team is? What is a reasonable aspiration for this team? We've had this conversation preseason, but we don't really, like, over the last couple of years, we haven't really had this conversation during the season. If we take a step back and we like think about like starting from the J era, every season, like from after 11-12, every season, I guess 12-13, like we've been top 4 seed, top 3 seed. So that's kind of where we've seen the team like land at. And we haven't really had to have much thoughts of expectations, because the expectation was we want to make a deep run. I would say the last time we've like, this team is probably more similar to like the 2019 Booth and Pascal team and Young Gillespie, where it's like they are flawed. Like this team objectively, I don't want to take anything away from us, but like likely isn't going to win the national title. Like it would take incredible shooting. Like that's just like, or isn't making the Final Four, like that, and that's okay. But what is our thoughts for this team? And so I'm seeing some like one tournament and when Sweet 16, like, and I just like, I look at it and I sit back and I think about like what I want from this team. And it started as like, and maybe I'm just like a victim of like the last 3 years and I like don't really have that high expectations, but it's like, just get in the tournament. And I know that we're going to get in the tournament and we're going to face like a 9, we're going to be an 8 seed or a 7 seed, and we're going to face like a 10 seed, and we're going to miss free throws down the stretch, and it's going to finally kill us. Like that's just, I can see it written in the stars. That's how it's going to happen. But I look at it and I just don't think that that's as big of a miss. Like that's just kind of our destiny as a team. Whether it happens in the round of 64 or the round of 32, I'm almost indifferent to, because we know what this like. I think I just see this team for what it is, and I'm like, we could maybe get lucky and make a Sweet 16. Like if we like get the right matchup. Like I'm not gonna throw out any 2 seeds that I think are soft. We're gonna save that for a little bit later. But like if we get the right matchup, we can definitely beat a 2 seed. I think there's a 2 seed that we can beat.
You think so?
I think there's a couple 2 seeds that we can beat.
A couple 2 seeds. Does one begin with a P?
I see the one with the P and I say, oh yeah, barbecue chicken. Actually, I'm fine to say it. They can yell at me, boiler ball. Purdue, you're on my list. Purdue, you are on my list.
Give me Matt Painter in March, baby.
Yeah. Oscar Clough, get out of here. I don't meet Duke Brennan, baby. I'm gonna regret that, aren't I? But no. Yeah, Jeffrey Steckman just said this in the comments. Like, this season has been a huge success so far, and I look at it truly, I think the only complaint we have is free throw shooting. But I know there's somebody who has a lot more complaints that has just kind of hopped in. I want to pull in our number one complainer, Chris Bellotti. Chris, how we doing, baby?
Yo, what's up? How we doing?
Good. I saw you come in the room and I said, all right, let me get on some complaints thing, because you've been in the group chat.
It's so funny because like I'm pretty happy with this season, right? Like,
Yep.
Look, at 21-5 now, our remaining games are either the best part about our remaining games, I guess at the Paul may be a little hairy, but like you have, I thought Xavier played out of their minds tonight.
Yeah.
So like that game could have been ended several times, but like you look at our games and it's either games that you'd expect us to lose that are not bad losses and very big opportunities for good wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 3 games are on paper very manageable. Right. And so this, I'm going to use this word, tranche of the schedule.
There we go.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm all the way back. I'm basically like haven't left. No. This 6-game stretch between the 2 UConn games, I was looking honestly for like 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there was an individual game that I looked at and said, we're going to lose that one. But more just like it is hard to go on the road. You asked for complaints and I'm giving you positives. But when you want me to zig, I zag. It's how it goes. Look, we played at, I'm not going to go ahead and try and gaslight anybody into thinking at Georgetown is a tough place to play, but at Xavier, at Creighton, you had the Seton Hall revenge game. Providence is kind of like a spunky, like, and there are a lot of other things, but they're spunky offensive team. Marquette has played us tough. Georgetown was on a little bit of like a mini couple games of looking a little better, right? Like I think when we first played Georgetown, their Ken Pom was like 103, and the second time we played Georgetown, their Ken Pom was like 80, right? Like so they're like the one Big East team that's actually like gotten a little bit better. So like I look at this season and I'm just like, hey, we won basically at Wisconsin. I know it's a neutral site game. We won at Seton Hall. We won at Butler. We won at Marquette. We won at Providence. We won at Creighton, and we won at Xavier. Right? Like the conference is bad this year. Don't get me wrong, but like in any given year, like winning all those games is a pretty challenging task. Just because they're tough road environments, etc. And in this year, I was of the opinion that, look, I wanted Willard to come in and light up the transfer portal. He did a good job in the transfer portal. It wasn't a great job in the transfer portal, which kind of actually helped him because it served to manage expectations a little bit. And then subsequently, we've outperformed, I think, those expectations. So I guess good on him for appropriate expectations management. But I think this season's been a success. So, look, I do have some complaints, and I get pretty fired up over, like, close home wins. Like, that game versus Marquette a few days ago or, like, a week ago, like, really got me fired up. Mm-hmm. And the free throws absolutely kill me. But in the grand totality of the season, we're, like, 2 wins away from pretty much guaranteeing a bid. And 3 or 4 wins away from having a home jersey in the first round, which I think is above what I expected. Now, my complaints are like grounded in like the fact that this team could be a fucking 4 seed, maybe not 4 seed, but like a 5 or 6 seed with the opportunity to avoid a 2 seed to begin with. I came in and caught that discussion. I don't know what 2 seeds you think we're beating, but
Purdue.
The 3 seeds I think are gettable. The 4 seeds I think are gettable. So like I would love to get into a realm where we're a heavy favorite in round one, or a pretty substantial favorite in round one, and actually have a puncher's chance in round two. That's where my complaints come from. And by the way, we just haven't gotten the game yet where the free throws burn this team.
Yeah. I prefer to get it before the tournament.
Yeah. We deserve it. We fucking deserve to lose a game on free throw.
We do. 100%. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. I thought I uncovered a major conspiracy with Georgetown basketball, but I didn't, so we can keep moving on. I thought they were fudging their attendance numbers because they'd said 14,000 people were at the Villanova-Georgetown game, and I said that cannot be true. But everything else seems above board, but the Villanova-Georgetown game says 14,000 people, and Georgetown, I just want you to know I'm on your ass. But yeah, back to what you were saying, Chris. I think – I mean, you're like all the complaints are like valid, but I guess like the thing I've talked about, and I said this before you hopped on, was just like, what is the expectation for this team? Like as we sit here right now,
the expectation for this team, in my view, is to not be at this point. It's not fall anywhere close to the bubble. We're not on the bubble right now.
Yeah, but
don't fall into it.
100%.
And then I want a home jersey in round one. And candidly, I don't want that to be in the 8-9 game. Like, I think this team should be aiming for as highest. They should be aiming to win out, obviously. Yeah. But like realistically, like this team needs to be a 6 or a 7 seed.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
And to me, like in this particular environment, like I usually look at 8-9 and 7-10 as being like kind of toss ups, but like I don't know. I feel like the 7 seeds are going to be, especially in the NIL era. I feel like the 7 seeds are better than 10 seeds. Like I know that seems like an obvious thing to say, but like a 7 seed is not a bubble team and a 10 seed is a bubble team, right? So yeah. But I think we can go get a 6 seed. Like I don't know, go win 4 of the last 5, right? Like beat a good team for once.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like it's probably too late in the game to ask for this team to go and be different than who they are. But for the love of God, can we beat the shit out of somebody? Like we got Butler at home, who's on life support. Oh, here comes Brian to tell me that it's February 17th and they're not going to be any different than anything that we were. I know, Brian. I've heard the fucking thing.
That's not what I came to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finish your point and then I'll do mine.
Okay. I'm very much of the opinion, like beat the crap out of somebody, please. Right? Like they should beat the crap out of Butler at home. Like it should be like a 25-point win. Xavier.
Best I'm gonna do is a 2-point game with 2 minutes left.
Best I could do is make you throw your phone at the TV screen because we missed a free throw up 4 with a minute left.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so I told you guys I had a take. So something that you guys know about me is I really dislike the over celebration or like really quick to be super excited about something, and I like to rain on everybody's parade. So it really came to a head with me with the Perkins as Josh Hart. So I didn't even mention it when talking to you guys. I was like, I'm not touching this. And then everyone was like, no, that's ridiculous. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, I agree. But I've decided to join. So I'm just going to be like, whatever's happening right now is the best thing we've ever seen, the best that's ever happened. Is the UConn game on Saturday the biggest game in Kevin Willard's career? I think so. It's the most important game he's ever coached, I'm sure.
The UConn game on Saturday is probably
biggest game of the season.
I fucking hate you. You wrote me into this dialogue
today, and I was like,
it's so funny because I'm like, well,
I'm sitting here and I'm just like, this game might be the bellwether game for the Kevin Willard era.
It's
now I'm in
your
zone. I hate you. I literally.
What was the game that you were like, is this the biggest game of the season? And I just wanted to know. It was Creighton
at Georgetown. It was at Georgetown, Brian. It was a ridiculous
game. It was Creighton. It was Georgetown.
No. It was at Georgetown.
That's so much worse.
Yeah, that's so much worse. No, I think there's a legitimate argument. The biggest game of the season to this point is the home UConn game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The away UConn games, whatever, it's away, they're ranked, weren't going to win it. Ended up being overtime, but I don't know if you guys covered this. Did you do predictions yet?
No, we haven't even really started speaking on UConn yet. Yeah.
Oh.
We've been having.
I'm going to be there at the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have
Stores,
a prediction, Brian?
South.
Yeah, Stores Xfinity Live. That's what
I think it's a reasonable thing to say that the team has overperformed my expectations and I am satisfied with the season. And at the same time, to be like, I'm not looking for this team to go be a Final Four Elite Eight team. I'm but can we just clean up a few things to actually make us like formidable and put some wind at our sails for year 2? And to Brian's point of dragging me into this dialogue on UConn, like I do think a UConn win would be good for booster money, NIL, those things can help put some wind at the sails going into future season.
I think they've won every game they're supposed to win this year except one, which in a basketball season is pretty reasonable.
Yep.
And it's not the fault of the staff and the team that they're not getting ranked games after they're getting 4 ranked games when Big East play starts. That sucks.
Yeah.
And what I thought was odd, and you guys will know this better than me, the non-conference schedule looked really good on paper. But are they just because it's brands that I'm familiar with and none of them were going to be good, or are some of those teams underperforming?
I think it's just that we didn't win any of the ranked games other than Wisconsin.
Yeah, because it was Michigan, but Michigan got beat the absolute fuck out of us.
Yeah. Michigan's probably the best team in the country right now, right?
Yeah, they were just number 1.
Yeah.
And then Pitt was never supposed to be that good, but they're worse than I think people thought they were going
fire Jeff Capel at the end of this year, man.
They should.
Yes.
They are. It's on the table.
Yeah. Wisconsin wasn't ranked when we beat them, but was still solid. And Wisconsin's now gone into Big Ten play, which I've seen some people complain about. why is Wisconsin ranked?
So good.
But we're not. So Wisconsin.
Well, guess what? They fucking beat with Michigan.
3 top 10 teams.
Yeah, we lost by 28, and we're celebrating that it wasn't 30.
Well, the person who suggested that, I was like, if you want to use that logic, Creighton and us should be ranked the same. I don't. Yeah. That's not how that works.
Yeah, they beat Michigan, Illinois, and then Michigan State in back-to-back games. They're good.
You guys see this Saturday, the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams are all playing each other?
Yeah.
3rd time ever in the history of college basketball. That's kind of cool.
But Wisconsin's doing the fun thing that the moment they get ranked, they go on the road to play an opponent that's kind of half good and lose.
Are they losing to Ohio State right now?
They're down 12 to Ohio State at halftime.
Nice.
That is just if you want to say hey, what's college basketball?
Yeah.
Right? You'd be like, hey, win a bunch of ranked games, get ranked yourself, and then lose immediately. That is perfect college basketball.
Wisconsin's worst loss is USC at home because they lost to BYU. They lost, I guess, technically TCU, but I think TCU is better than USC. That's why 30 to Nebraska, but Nebraska's also a 2 or 3 seed. So, yeah.
My take is very simple. I don't actually think the issue is the out-of-conference schedule at all. The issue is that the Big East Conference fucking sucks. It is horrible. It is so bad this year. It's embarrassing. And it's, Brian, we've all talked about this on the text thread. But, if you had to, draw up the Big East season to come out with the worst possible result that you could possibly get and be like, all right, what am I going to do in each game to pull all the levers to diminish this conference as much as possible? That's exactly what's happened the entire season. The entire season.
Not having all close games no matter what.
Yeah.
They're ranked, but yeah.
It's okay, cool. Butler was, I just did it the other day. When we played Butler, they were 48th in Ken Pom. When we beat them by 18 at Hinkle. Yep. Right? And I was wow, that was a great win. That looks great. That's going to be a good resume win. They are no longer a quad 1 win for us. It's crazy. Creighton, when they beat us, was 42nd in Ken Pom.
I do think there should be something.
Quad 3 loss. It's a quad 3 loss now. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Sorry, it just drives me nuts.
I know, like, or I could get to Ken Palm if I really needed to. I could get a message to him. Ken, if you're listening, I think we need a metric of like what was the like at the time of the win, what was it supposed to be? Like
I've seen that. I've seen you reference that before because I know what you mean.
And that needs to be just like more generally accepted and be like, this is what it actually like. You can have like essentially an adjusted net record, and of like this is what they were at the moment, and then this is what it is now, and have that be two separate things, so that the committee gets another thing to fuck up.
It's like temperature and feels like.
Yeah,
this is the temperature. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's a really good analogy, Brian.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk UConn?
Yeah, we're going to talk UConn right now. So
I don't know. I actually did not update Chris yet. Chris is not on Twitter. I know he's missed a lot.
Yeah.
UConn fixed all the problems today. All the crowd problems are done. The athletic director is now going to allow students to transfer tickets. So everything's fixed. Best athletic director in the country. There's no more.
I mean, the guy just to bang up athletic director.
Yeah. Now, credit to him. He was getting yelled at on Twitter yesterday and rolled out a plan. Now, the tough thing is you were able to do that 2 years ago. So it's what it was. It wasn't.
We can't snap our fingers and change this overnight. Actually.
Yeah. But I thought it was funny to see him reply to people on Twitter. I always think that's a mistake if you're like an administrator or a person of power to like ever acknowledge that you're seeing stuff. But yeah.
So back to the game.
Yeah.
UConn. How are we feeling? Tommy, what do you think some of the keys to the game are versus the Huskies?
I mean, this is a game that, or a team, UConn, they've lost one game since Feast Week, and that was to St. John's in like a fiery Garden matchup on a Friday night. If I had to pick a national champion this year, I'd pick UConn, like gun to my head right now. They're just, they're as advertised. They're just top 10 defense, number 22 overall offense. This feels like a game like, if we lost, like as crazy as it sounds, if we lost tonight, I would feel better going into this UConn game.
I had the same thought process on it.
Yeah, it like in a weird, messed up way. I would feel a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, this feels like a game that we're going to be a really popular upset pick. The line's probably going to be like UConn -2.5, -3, and people are going to be hammering Villanova. And it just feels like a game that UConn comes out and just puts the clamps on Villanova at home, as much as I hate to say it. We need it. There's wins are tough to come by in this conference. Chris said it perfectly. It fucking sucks this year. We're going to get 3 teams in the tournament unless somebody goes on an insane run in the middle of March at MSG. It's just a horrible year for the conference, and these wins are tough to come by. So the team's going to need it, but it's going to be this is not going to be an easy game.
I'm like, go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead, Willie.
I'm like sitting here thinking, like, what do we need to see to win? And this is one of those games where, like, I mean, we are just going to have to play. I mean, realistically, if we just did what we did versus them on the road and just executed down the stretch, actually, we win. But both of these teams are a little bit different than they were at that time. I think UConn is slightly more susceptible to a loss. Like they haven't put anybody away yet. Like they've just kind of been like we said, winning all the Big East games. They lost to St. John's, but winning their games versus worse teams that are like a rung or 3 rungs underneath them by like 4 to 5 and kind of like down late in the second half. I think for us to win, I mean, I'm going to go back to like, we need to see Lewis just have another Lewis game, like whatever that looks like. And what I've loved from it is like a Lewis game can be scoring 26. It can be a huge amount of things down the stretch, or it can just be like, hey, I'm going to get us 12 and 8 assists and keep everything going. We need to just see a good Lewis game. I think it's going to have to like really like, we're going to need a big Brennan game is like a big thing for me, just like a big Duke Brennan game. And then I will say this team will not hit their ultimate ceiling unless we get Bryce Lindsey every single Like, and like today was a like good second half. Like, if that's a harbinger of things to come, I'm no longer worried. But like, it's one game after a like 10 game stretch of kind of like being doo doo. So we need to just see that. And then obviously like make your free throws, guys. Make your free throws. We started 8 for 10 in this game versus Xavier, and I was like, oh, and then that quickly changed, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Law of averages.
They did the last time these two teams played. They missed 5 free throws the entire game, and in the overtime loss, they 77% from the free throw line. UConn shot the exact same percentage, and Villanova was pretty much tied with them on the glass as well. So
maybe we should miss more free throws, is what I'm hearing. In games that I'm the advanced numbers say in games that we miss 10 or more free throws, we're undefeated. I don't know if that's actually true, but it feels like it. So
that could be true.
Yeah,
probably true.
That's what the analytics are saying, guys. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, I simultaneously believe a couple different things. One, I don't see UConn as vintage this year. I see them as very good, very formidable. Turn the ball over a little bit too much. They play with their food a lot. They don't seem to have that like trademark national champion Hurley team, like absolutely put 2 to 3 back to back kill shots on team type.
They're not going to Illinois 30-0 Illinois run. Like
no, they're not that. They're not like that. I am at the same time, like we make a lot of plays that demonstrate that we are not championship caliber right now. We make a lot of winning plays. Tyler Perkins makes a lot of winning plays. Caden Lewis makes a lot of winning plays. Matt Hodge got that rebound. But it feels like we just can't string enough winning plays together. That being said, I see a world where this game looks a lot like the first game.
You didn't watch the first game, so
what?
You didn't watch the first game. How would you know? You want to go?
I watched highlights and replays and stuff. So
love that you remember that.
Because I remember he wasn't mad enough.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's going on in the game?" I was like, "He's like, it feels like it's not a bad loss."
I was
so mad.
I was out. I could not watch the game.
That was in your era of being really mad about games, and that was a prime one to get mad at.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big
But
deal.
I believe what we're going to see is a game where we're up again. We're feeling like, man, can we get excited about this team? And then, look, I see a world where we win, but I think the more likely result is that we lose the game on free throws.
We just haven't done it yet. I don't.
We're going to do it. It's going to happen. And this feels like the game it's going to happen.
Well, there's
this feels like the game it's going to happen. The shoe's going to drop. We're going to be up 5-6 with a minute to play. Solo ball's going to hit a 3. We're going to shank in a 1-and-1. And then they're going to come down, hit another bucket. It's going to tighten way up. And then it'll be a little back and forth. We're going to miss another free throw. And then they're going to win. And that's it. That's what I think is actually going to happen. Now, I don't rule out the fact that like I would be surprised if we go lose by 15. Maybe I don't know. I just don't see it. But like I wouldn't be shocked if we go and win by 15. If we just like get up big early and just kind of like shoot the lights out and have like one of those games where you have like everyone has one of those games where you go off at home versus a good team and you beat somebody out and it's like that happens, right? Like that's part of college ball. Is that the game that we're going to draw this time? I don't know, but it could. But I think the most likely result is that we lose this game by a couple points on free throws.
I don't think we win by 15 if we win.
I didn't say that was the likely result.
You didn't say that. You didn't say that.
I said it was in the range of outcomes.
Sure.
Basketball will happen.
Yeah, basketball will happen. Sure, it's in the range of outcomes. Yeah. we've beaten 3 teams by like more than 10 points in Big East play, and I just don't. But I am overall. I agree with basically everything you just said. It's just more I'm being semantics here. All right, so we've talked a little about UConn. I think one thing we're also kind of forgetting is so we have Butler the week after, but then we have St. John's, or not the week after, Wednesday, and then we have St. John's. So it's like there are 2 bites at the apple for like a great win, and St. John's is on the road, so like, I mean,
they're both Q1A wins.
Yeah, they're both Q1A, so it doesn't really matter. But like either way, there's 2 bites at the apple for one last great win before we get into the tournament. I was texting a buddy of mine, and we were talking about. He hit me up and basically was like, "What's our ceiling for a seed?" And we're on T rank, which you guys know I love Bar Torvik, and essentially I put out like and I don't fully agree with this, but I put out like, all right, we win out, and then we win the Big East tournament, which is something that has not been on my, or not even the Big East tournament. Sorry. Win Big East tournament, but something that was said on the show, or on the game, not the show. We're on the show. Something that was said during the game was like Villanova's not out of the Big East title race, and that was the first time all season I was like, oh, I guess we could win the Big East title. Like in theory, we have both UConn and St. John's in front of us, and it was the first
and they
time
have to play each other one more time.
Yeah,
too.
and it was on the standings where I was like, oh. I guess we could, and it literally had not crossed my mind all season. And in that moment, I was like, I guess we could, and I don't think it's going to happen. It feels like an outlier of all outliers to get there. But I just thought that was interesting. But to get back to my original story with my buddy, essentially, if we win out all 6 games, we win the Big East tournament, beating St. John's and UConn along the way. So we beat them essentially 4 wins against them down the stretch, and then beat everybody else. T-Rank still had us as a 6 seed. I don't think that would happen, but like
that doesn't seem accurate.
Yeah, it didn't feel right, but it still had us as a 6 seed. And I was like, there's no like, I think you'd at least get to a 4 in that situation.
We're 21-5 right now.
Yeah, it was like one of the
that would pick up like 3 quad 1A wins and another quad 1 win, and that would.
Yep.
It's 9 more. It's 8 more wins. We'd be 29-5. It would have to be a 4 seed.
It'd be a 4 seed, and I said that when we were texting about it. But I just think basically that idea broke T rank because I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. It said no.
Unless the assumption is that us beating St. John's and UConn drags them down so much, they fall out.
They're like on their pods. Fucking Big East sucks. 3rd place team.
All right.
The season's going to be a big bummer if we lose both of these games to UConn and St. John's, because we'll really know like what this team is about if we lose both of those games.
Yeah.
It's just like the epitome of a B+ team.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap, there's a couple of I said mailbox. So there's been a couple of questions that have come in. A couple I want to hit. Then we're gonna start with. I got this one. I'm only seeing Twitter ones. If you guys have anything else in the comments, you feel free to put them in there. Chili Pequeño said, "Did we see the resurgence of number 2, meaning Bryce Lindsey, in time for Saturday? And does Palmer deserve more minutes?"
So yes, Palmer deserves more minutes. He was my guy from the beginning of the season. He's one of the best defenders on the team, one of the best on-ball defenders, off-ball defenders. He can rebound, and he's fearless with the ball. Like, he's next up, and he knows it. Like, there was a time where he took a DHO in transition and just pulled up from NBA range, and I was like, who
does he think he is?
Who does he think he is?
But in a good way.
Yeah, and he cashed it. So, Malachi Palmer definitely needs more minutes. With the Bryce Lindsey thing, it's not going to be like they said it on the broadcast. Over his last 4 games, he went 4 for 30 from the field. So it's not like there's going to be one game where he goes like 10 of 11 from beyond the arc, right? So it's not going to fix itself overnight. So I think we're seeing the beginning of the resurgence of Bryce Lindsey, but it's just not something that's going to happen overnight. Definitely good to see him get back on track. Hit that big shot in overtime as well. That was good to see.
All right. Next question that I want to hit is from Joseph. can we keep a Caden out of the portal? That will surely cost more than we've ever paid any player so far in the NIL era. We
like legally, I don't think we.
Yeah, legally. Well, yeah, we've seen it. We've seen teams try with Darian Mensah at Duke and Des Williams at Washington. I can't remember what the quarterback's name was. I hope we can.
Yeah.
But if he hits the portal, he will be like it's tough because like every team in the country is going to be like, okay, we've already seen this guy play at a high level. We know what he can be. Like we're talking like to this point, like we're talking like $7-8 million, like realistically to get him to stay because like a Duke, somebody else will come with that amount to be like, go play.
Well, I think it's easier to stomach paying him the most because, like you said, we've seen him. He's on the team.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're happy with him. I think the problem that puts you in is you're not going to be able to pay anybody else around him. So you bring him back, your budget's gone. What's the point? I don't know that this team is like a player away from people being like, all right, I'm ponying up big money. So they probably still pay him because they want to retain their players. But at the same time, if we need 4 players out of the portal, he counts for 3. Like, I think that's probably the hard thing from a money standpoint.
Here is my argument for someone else spending their money in a big way at him. In theory, it's a 1-year deal.
Yes.
So it's not like you're like, oh, I got to pay him a lot, and then I got to pay him again the year after the same amount of money, right? Like, it is one more. It's going to be 1 more year.
Yeah, he's
right?
after
like,
next year. He should
keep him in the program, fix his shot, work on a couple of nuance type things, and he's gone, right? And then you have another NBA guy who theoretically,
I don't see him as an NBA guy. I get your point because
my point is, we could debate the long range like thing, like that. That's not really what I'm saying. It's more just like get a guy who would theoretically, if he continues on his trajectory and fixes his shot,
I know,
like is a guy who would get drafted, right? So I think you pay him. My attitude would be you pay him whatever he wants. He's been a model citizen. That's the other part. Is like he says all the right things in the pressers. I know that's like not necessarily the most important thing, but like if you're looking for like reasons to potentially allow a guy to walk, right? Like a guy who might be a nuisance might be easier to let go than a guy who's been a good locker room guy, right? Like you're taking away some of the elder statesmen, not like elder statesmen, but like older guys with experience, like can ask you next year, right? Like, so like you want to, I'm hopeful that we can keep like a core of like 4, 5, 6 guys here. And theoretically, that was also the stated goal after the portal season didn't go exactly according to plan.
Yeah.
So I think you pony up next year and try and almost go into win now mode, win now in like the college basketball sense. Like you can never like go after we're just going to win a national championship with NIL, but like you go into like, all right, we're going to try and compete at the very top of the conference and make a second weekend type run, and you go into that win now mode and you pay a Caden whatever. And I see in the comments here, Jeffrey saying that he loves the team chemistry and that's important. I actually agree. Like the core of this team seems to have some pretty good chemistry. They share the basketball well. Agendaless basketball seems to be. They don't seem to have an agenda when they play. So
that's a good way to put it.
It would not be wise for a Caden to transfer, in my opinion. I mean, the grass is not always greener in the transfer portal, and I don't know what he would go looking for. He's going to win Big East Freshman of the Year. It might be Nigel James, who's come on strong of late, but he's going to win Big East Freshman of the Year. I know everybody thinks everybody's transferring on this current roster, but likely Malachi Palmer will be back. Chris Jeffrey will be back. Tyler Perkins, I don't think he's going anywhere. So I to Jeffrey and Chris's point, I do think that is going to be important. And he's making 7 figures to be the man at Villanova with a team that he already has chemistry with. I don't think it would be wise for him to test the waters.
And
also, do believe that one of the stories that came out of from message boards and whatever, Twitter and stuff, is that
I don't even know what you're going to say. The answer is no. I don't believe it.
I also don't believe it.
Yeah, yes, we paid a lot for the roster, but we were theoretically going to pay more and didn't this year and didn't end up spending.
Okay. I can actually buy that. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't end up spending what we thought. So theoretically, there's a little bit of war chest there.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the St. John's point guard swap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that one. One question that I think I want to answer is Jay's for Gerald asked. We were in a blender in the pick and roll all night. Why not just hard hedge and prevent those long twos we gave up all game?
Good luck.
It's a good adjustment. I think ultimately you want to give up long twos. They were hot, but just statistically, it's the worst shot on the floor. And so when you look at that, it's just if you're going to get beat by long twos, if you're going to be beat by Carroll, literally carrying the team, and he's taking long twos, and it wasn't even really just him. It was Anderson. It was everybody.
Was that the Troy Polamalu guy?
Yeah, Troy Polamalu. Yeah,
Aquaman.
Okay.
Which we'll get to him. There's a question about him. Yeah, I just think ultimately you don't do that because that's kind of the shot you want to give up. You don't want to give up open threes. You chase them off the line. You don't want to give up open rolls to the basket, which we talked about earlier. That
we did a lot of that though.
We were giving a lot. They were doing a lot of backdoor cuts and things like that. But at the end of the day, the long two is probably the shot I'm worried about least in a basketball game. Even at the NBA level, it's just at the end of the day, it's just it's not a statistically good shot, and the only people who should be taking it and making it are the most elite players. And at the end of the day, an NBA level, you're not going to stop Kevin Durant anyway, so it doesn't really matter where he gets that shot from. If you can make him take a long two, it's better than an open three. Go back to Carroll. K-Mac asked, why wouldn't Carroll consider a perm? It's a great question. It is funny, the short, but he was playing, and I'd seen him play before. I watched him at FAU. Most of the time, most players have their hair just in a bun. Mm-hmm. In a man bun when they're playing, and I was I don't know the last player I saw who didn't have locks or dreads that just had their hair that long and flowing. It's very interesting, and it looked odd on the court. It did look like Troy Polamalu. This feels odd, but yeah.
That was my fiance's first observation tonight before she banished me to the office in my apartment and turned on North Carolina. But she was asking why that man did not have his hair in a bun. And I didn't have an answer. Brian thought he was wearing a T-shirt during the game, but it was just his hair.
Yeah, but I saw that. I was I guess this guy got blood on his jersey, and they didn't bring an extra. Just the numbers were up so high. I literally was he's wearing a gray shirt. Is this the Big East now? Oh man, no jersey budget this year.
Thanks, Val.
I think if it wasn't gray, I wouldn't have thought that, but it did just look like a gray workout shirt. He came from FAU. You said, Willie?
Oh yeah, he's at FAU.
The team that made the run.
He would have been a freshman, I think, that year. Yeah.
Yeah, this is his last year. He's gone.
Yeah. And then the last question that we had on here that I can see is, are free throws actually free? Clearly not, is my answer. Clearly they're not.
I think they're part of a subscription service.
I've seen a lot of people, and this isn't the first time I've seen it, where people say oh, they're a good three-point shooting team, not a good free throw shooting team. They're not similar things. There's rarely ever crossover between that. It's a completely different type of shot. And what sucks is a three-point shooting team that's way harder to develop and get good at. Free throw shooting is fully in the control of the player.
Everybody can
get better at.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of
who the best free throw shooting team in the NBA is?
Do I
know who the best free throw shooting team in the NBA is?
Kyle Korver?
No, team? You said currently?
Current team, yeah.
Current team in the NBA. Ooh.
The Supersonics?
OKC.
Spurs.
It's Kyle Neptune's Charlotte Hornets.
I was. It carries.
I mean,
that's the play-in Hornets to you, also, mind you.
10-1 in their last 11.
Yep. If there's something that Kyle Neptune knows, it's the second tournament, and playing Hornets, baby.
You talking about the crown?
Yeah, the crown.
The players can win money, so like don't crown the crown. Like,
He's
so
playing
you guys make
the
money?
crown of that. Yeah. What was the thing I was going to say? Oh, Brian, to your point on they're a good 3-point shooting team. Like, it doesn't make any sense that they're a bad free throw shooting team. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. That totally negates the fact that the people who make it to the line most often are Caden Lewis, who's not a great 3-point shooter. Makes some.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. Like, not a great 3-point shooter. And Duke Brennan, who is definitely not a 3-point shooter. And so you're like, yeah, the guys who shoot the most threes, other than probably Perkins, don't get to the line a lot.
Yeah,
like,
because they're shooting threes.
right, because they're shooting threes.
Yeah, they're
And
not getting fouled, yeah.
in years past, you used to have guys who would do both, but we don't really have guys who do both. You have only the Josh Hart-esque Tyler Perkins who
Yeah,
he really has been good lately. By the way, he's been really good.
Like,
he's the best player on the team. At first, it was like you thought it was sneaky because Lindsay was so good and Lewis has been good. It's not sneaky anymore. Just
Yeah. I don't like agree with the Josh Hart stuff, but once a game he does something, I'm like, oh, I know why they're saying it. Like,
I get it.
yeah.
I'm just looking at Jamal Mashburn saying, well, he's better than Josh Hart because he's a better 3-point shooter.
Like
He's
that.
not. I don't know that.
No one is allowed to say that. Please, like.
And I was like, maybe Josh is.
Jamal Mashburn said that.
Mashburn on the last post game. He's like, oh, he's better than Hart at 3. He's like, nope. And maybe he's looking at his Knicks percentage. I don't watch, but at least at Villanova, Josh Hart was not a volume 3-point shooter, but he basically made all of them. Just like Brunson, they wouldn't take a lot. When they took it, they went in. So
ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, Josh Hart's kind of been glossed over because like he was the best player in the 16 team, but he's not Jenkins or Arch. And then the 17 team, just loses. But like he was so good.
He is my favorite Villanova player ever. So yeah.
He was so
good. Lord.
Did he start the run of the Julius Erving Award winners we had? Like 4 out of 6.
I think that sounds actually right.
Yeah, I think it was him and then Bay.
He started it because I think the award started his junior year because it's also a relatively new award.
Oh, that's a newer one.
Yeah.
Because it was for small forward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
him, Bay. We had one more, didn't we?
Bridges.
Oh, Bridges wanted that next year, right?
Yeah.
See, I always thought of him as a power forward, but I get it because,
Josh Hart. People forget.
Yeah. No,
Josh Hart did not win Player of the Year in 17, but he was by KenPom analytically the greatest player in college basketball that year.
National Player of the Year. I was like, he won big. Yeah, National Player. Yeah.
National. Yes.
Yeah. Frank Mason, baby.
Frank Mason beat him for National Player of the Year in the voting, but the analytical Player of the Year was Josh Hart.
So I have a story I'm going to tell. This is for the listeners. You guys have all heard this story, but in 2015, Big East Media Day, the seniors go up with Coach Wright. And I don't remember the exact comment, but Hilliard made some sort of comment about not being familiar with someone in the league or like there was a star he didn't know and just was like, oh, I don't know him, but maybe he's good. And next day at the team meeting, Coach Wright looked at him and said, you just cost yourself Big East Player of the Year. People don't forget that shit. And that's the year Arch won it. And the point was like, it can be a little political sometimes. Like, because I think they had to pick someone from Villanova. They were a 1 seed. But Hilliard probably should have won that.
Yeah, he was without the best player on the team. Yep.
And it was over like, it sounded arrogant, and I don't know that he meant it to. But
it
I
doesn't
also
really feel like it. Yeah.
Like that. And I guess at the end of the season, he was like, well, told you.
Yeah, that doesn't really feel like a Darren thing to be like super arrogant. I was never like,
right.
Yeah. Last thing I want to like wrap up with is we were talking about the correlation between free throw shooting and 3-point shooting. So I'm looking at on some of our advanced metrics, our free throw rate. So what free throw rate is the number of free throw attempts per field goal attempt. So essentially like how much of your scoring and how many opportunities you get at the line. the number I'm looking at is shocking to me about how high Duke Brennan's is. To give you a I'm gonna actually just give you Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who people call a free throw merchant and gets the free throw line a lot. His free throw rate, I'm giving you it right now, this season is, give me 1 second. Where's it just advanced? His free throw rate is 46.9. So essentially 47% of the time, or for every field goal that he takes, 46.9. I'm kind of butchering the explanation of it, but it's 46.9. What do you think Duke Brennan's number is for number of free throw attempts per field goal attempt?
60.
65.
Well, I'm just going to go the other way. 12.
82.
You want it to be low? I'm zoned out when
you want it to be. I mean, you want it to be high, I guess. In theory, it's essentially saying you get fouled a lot. So for every field goal you take, you get fouled this amount.
Got it.
Duke Brennan basically is for every shot he takes, he gets fouled, the next one, and that's
he's a football guy. So.
Yeah, that's just I've never seen it. I look at these numbers all the time when I'm doing my draft scouting stuff. I've never seen 82. I've seen 66, but I've never seen 82.
I have a stat question for you, and this is really for Chris, but I want Willie to answer. What did you call the stats you looked at? What was
advanced analytics?
Are those next gen or a next gen beyond advanced? How do we?
Actually, it's very funny. Next gen is beyond advanced.
That's crazy. So we're at the third level.
Yeah.
Okay, because I told this before. I love that people think they invented statistics just because they're tracking more shit. We've been doing that. It's just a different thing.
Yep. Yeah. No, next gen is above advanced for sure.
Okay. Is there a step beyond next gen?
Honestly, probably AI something.
AI.
Yeah, it's probably AI something. Yeah.
What's the next stat thing?
Yeah. We can be the next Ken Palm if we can figure it out.
I feel like it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. All right. I think that's everything we had today.
Chris, it was really nice to have you back.
Yeah, it was nice to have you back, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Happy to be here. Looking forward to the. Actually, I don't even know. Am I looking forward to the rest of the season? I don't even know if I'm looking forward to
that'll be determined after Saturday.
No, but even that,
what does a win or a loss on Saturday change about what you think of this team?
Nothing. Actually zero.
And I think that's kind of my overarching point of you trying to make, Brian.
It'd be cool to win, but if we don't, it's fine.
Yeah.
This team could lose by 10 to Connecticut and beat Butler, or they could beat Connecticut and we could be like, all right, finally we've broken the spell. We're going to be good now, and then win by 2 against Butler.
Yeah.
And it just is. This team just is. I don't know if they're going to change my mind at this point. I like them.
Yeah.
I really like the team. I'm enjoying the season. I'm enjoying the team. They find ways to win games. It's fun, but I want them to be this much more. And I don't know. Yeah, 5 games left in the regular season. I'm just not seeing that next year.
Yeah.
I said this when this game ended. Was right towards the end. I think it was maybe after Hodges' rebound. I started yelling in my apartment. I was like, I love this team, and I do. I definitely love this team. It's flawed, but it's fun, and they're good, and we're just along for the ride.
You know what would change my mind, Brian, about this team? If they beat UConn, blow out Butler, and beat St. John's, then I would be like,
you put something together. I get that.
Yeah.
Now, what if during the handshake line, someone hard fouls Nardi for leaving in the conference? How do we? Is there a suspension? Do we defend it? No, you're allowed to punch the coach if you left your team. And we all know.
I'll decide which side of the aisle I'm on. When I see what everybody else.
I was trying to think how to work in assaulting the coach.
So no, if we assault Nardi, right?
But a player who didn't play for him.
So a player who never played for him. So Caden Lewis assaults Nardi, right? Then if the UConn players react, we gotta say, why isn't anyone talking shit on them?
Yeah, they fought back.
We are off the rails right now.
I love this conversation. I want to
we're
keep
preparing
going.
for something that will not happen.
It will absolutely no chance happen. 0% chance happen because we run a program that's actually reputable.
Yeah, no one's mad at Mike Nardi. Like,
Everyone's happy for Mike Hardy.
yeah.
All right. Before we say anything else insane, we should be back next week. Hopefully talking about a UConn win and then what we got to do down the stretch to keep rolling. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Brian. Thank you all for listening. And as always, let's go Nova. I don't know why I want that voice.
Yes! Yes! Wow!